Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. Well, that's interesting. This coming from Real XRP Boy here on Twitter. Zago recently announced the launch of a US dollar and USDC on its payment gateway and trade exchange, adding to the existing South African Rand and Ripple's XRP, and has now launched pounds with more currencies to follow shortly. So they've launched pounds, GBP, on their system as well. And this original announcement, I gotta say, if I click through here and I click on their announcement, I have I had the tab already up here. The announcement is here on the Zago webpage, and they posted a blog entry on June the 22nd, 2022. Zago launches XGB, enabling end-to-end British pound transfers within minutes. Now, I don't know if you guys saw my video, or rather the video I did yesterday, XRP Phoenix. I highlighted this tweet. This originally from Bubba Cugs, and crypto Twitter will still turn around and say nothing is happening. I pointed out the timeline, June 2022, and there are a lot of predictions here in this timeline. June 2022, though, with the British pound logo underneath, I was talking about it in the context of Tether and how Tether was launching GBPT, but I totally missed the Zago story yesterday, so I guess I'm going to mention it today, considering it also has to do with a Ripple-enabled company, Zago. Ripple's XRP, of course, now launching pounds, and more currencies will follow shortly. So that's also interesting, because if we take a look at this, July 2022, it's looking like the yen. August 2022, it's looking like the dollar. And September 2022, it's looking like the euro. But who knows if it all relates to Zago, if there are going to be different stablecoins or CBDCs issued at that time. Utilizing the XRP ledger, though, Zago's innovative money solutions are built with speed, efficiency, and low-cost transactional abilities for corporates, SMEs, and individuals, with a focus on empowering people in Africa. So this company specifically focusing on the African continent. Their latest product is a white-labeled international money transfer solution developed specifically for banks and retailers to offer a faster and cheaper option, especially for their clients to be able to send money home to their families. And Mark Chernstein here, CEO and co-founder of Zago, he said current international money transfer often takes days for money to move from sender to recipient with no confirmation on transaction finality, and fees from all parties involved can cost well above 10%, especially evident in sub-Saharan Africa. But with Zago, it now takes minutes, and we are proud to say that our low fees are disrupting the global payments and money transfer industry, all thanks to the XRPL, running on RippleNet, leveraging XRP for that liquidity. And so, again, the XGB pegged 1-to-1 with the British pound. Does that also coincide with the June 2022 timeline? Well, I think so. Anyway, I wanted to thank, who was it originally that posted this? Right, it was Real XRP Boy who brought that to my attention. I want to keep moving, guys. Wrath of Kahneman posting this. Ripple user Neum has now partnered with Stellar. So we're starting to see a lot of these Ripple-enabled companies also partnering with Stellar. And I mean, it's got me scratching my head. One of the theories that has been put out there is that Ripple and XRP is going to be utilized for the enterprise grade transfers, and Stellar is going to be more for retail. But it's interesting because you'd think that, these companies, they really only need one or the other. They don't really need both. So why are they partnering with both? Well, Neum and the Stellar Development Foundation, they have enabled payouts in 190 countries. Neum, the global platform for modern money movement, and the Stellar Development Foundation, a nonprofit organization that supports the development and growth of the open source public blockchain Stellar, today announced a partnership to enable payouts to 190 countries. Businesses can now facilitate fiat payments to 190 countries on Stellar, a network purpose-built for fast and efficient payments. Stellar's fast, more convenient approach to cross-border payouts improves upon the traditional correspondent banking system, accelerating the receipt of funds, reducing settlement risk, and removing pre-funding requirements. So basically doing exactly what Ripple does. Here's a quote: "The scale at which Neum is able to offer cross-border payouts around the world is further enhanced by the speed with which we are able to deliver payments for businesses," says Joaquin Ioso, head of Neum Crypto. Our approach to modern money movement on Stellar innovates on legacy approaches well past their prime. It showcases both Neum's global reach and real-time payment capabilities to a thriving network of business leaders and innovators. So, I mean, I just had a thought. Could it have been that a lot of these companies decided to run on Ripple in the beginning for their retail transactions as almost a proof of concept? or a pilot project. Maybe it was always in Ripple's sights that they were going to target the larger payments, all the money, so to speak. And so, at the end of the day, maybe it was a symbiotic relationship, Ripple partnering with all these retail grade clients, knowing full well that these retail grade clients would move to a company like Stellar for the retail side and retail payments, whereas a company like Ripple would move on to, perform those legacy banking transfers and run FedNow through Valente as another example. Enterprise grade clients like through Temenos. So that's also a theory. I don't know how legitimate that theory is. I'm just spitballing here, guys. If you have an opinion, though, put it down in the comments section. I would like to hear what you guys have to say about that. But anyway, just another new partnership here with a Ripple-enabled company now also deciding to partner with Stellar for what is apparently the exact same application that Ripple could perform. So again, it gets me scratching my head. I don't think that these companies are unhappy with RippleNet, so there's got to be something else going on here. Wrath of Kahneman also mentioning down here, the press release reads a bit like Stellar using Neum and not the other way around. It does not replace their use of Ripple. They use many payment channels. The cheapest, most liquid option will win. Perhaps a move to boost USDC liquidity through Neum, so I guess that is another option. But again, we saw it with MoneyGram, we saw it with Neum, we saw it with another company. Who was it now? The one that was creating the AUDC, partnering with both Ripple and Stellar. Anyway, thought that was interesting. Wanted to thank the Wrath of Kahneman here for posting that. And did you guys see this from Jameel Kays at JamminJKs here on Twitter? The ability for the market to recover from a significant systematic event? It's only a 27-second clip. It was from one of the Ripple Drop blogcast episodes. Listen to this.
And the last key attribute of a healthy liquid market is really resilience. And that is getting at the ability for a market to recover from a significant systemic event. So if there was some sort of a market shock, the ability for order books to get back to normality and tighten back to similar prices to where they were prior to that event relatively quickly. And so all of those attributes are very important to a healthy liquid market.
So talking about Ripple in the context of allowing for there to be enough liquidity in case something really dramatic happens, a big systematic event that could have broader implications. Well, Jameel Kays also brought this up. This is just from yesterday. Jerome Powell talking about the economy.
Let me ask about in terms of asset prices and how financial markets are responding to the Fed's stance. I've consistently asked you and Secretary Yellen when you appear before the committee to talk about systemic risks, risk to financial stability, risk of financial contagion. Where you're moving swiftly and markets are volatile, there are perhaps institutional trades that could rapidly unwind or exotic financial instruments that no longer function well. What do you anticipate to be the parts of capital markets now, or the phenomena in capital markets that present the greatest risk to financial stability as the Fed takes the aggressive action that you're taking?
Well, I'd start by saying that the banking system is very strong, well capitalized, highly liquid, does a much better job of understanding the risks it runs and managing them than before the global financial crisis. And that's a reflection of the work that regulators did and that the banks did too. So that part of the financial system is critically very strong, and we saw that through the pandemic, and we see it now. To your point, though, capital markets did show real periods of illiquidity during the immediate aftermath of the pandemic, and so we've been looking at ways. I say broadly, the regulatory community has been looking at ways to address that.
So you remain concerned about money markets?
Well, that's a different. So money markets are that's a part of the economy which where it has become illiquid because the assets that they were invested in were not able to be turned into cash quickly to fund depositors wanting to take their money back. So we stepped in and had to provide that liquidity for the second time. There are reforms going on there at the SEC which should address that, and they're in the process of being considered and then implemented. So that should help on that front. I was thinking more of the Treasury market, for example, which it became illiquid when at the very beginning when people wanted nothing but cash, nothing but the cash and most cash-like things. Treasury market has been functioning though all through this period when we've.
So a few things here. The person posing the question asking specifically about systematic risks. Jerome Powell talking about money markets being illiquid and other markets as well right at the beginning of the pandemic also being illiquid, and that also poses systematic risks. So again, I wanted to thank Jamil Kays here for bringing this up because it does really demonstrate how RippleNet is in fact designed to be able to handle many industries, liquidity for many industries, money flowing through many different markets. And so this idea here of this systematic event really does pique my interest. Anyway, I wanted to thank Jamil Kays for pointing that out. On top of which, did you guys know that Judy Shelton has followed Mr. Intuitive on Twitter? Yeah, he sent me this morning. I thought that was interesting, considering this guy walks around town ranting about Ripple and XRP.
What's up, fam? Calling on the army to protect our beloved Judy Shelton. She's brave, she's classy, she's a delight, and she's always good, like grandma's cookies. She's out here calling for nominal anchors. She wants a reliable measure of account to ensure there's stable money. She's calling for a level monetary playing field with a rules-based approach. And even though her southern twang makes me weak, there are global players out there that do not want the people to know how a gold standard, whatever it may be, can help free the world and prevent this from happening again. We love you, Judy. We got your back. Bring in the gold and sprinkle it everywhere.
I was trying to hold back my laughter that entire time so as not to ruin the clip. But yeah, this is Mr. Intuitive on Twitter. I'm sure you guys have seen his tweets. And now Judy Shelton has indeed followed him and apparently I think has even liked this video, if I'm not mistaken. And just to put things into perspective, if you guys aren't familiar with Judy Shelton, this is what she was saying during the Trump administration.
You mentioned the gold standard. I think you're quite well known for your stance on the gold standard. Would returning to a gold standard help the U.S. economy? Can you talk a little about your thoughts on that?
Well, I would say I don't see it so much as returning, but more of a back to the future.
Okay.
I think that what a gold standard stands for is monetary discipline for its own sake. That is, if money is supposed to be a unit of account and a reliable measure and a dependable store of value, it really shouldn't be subject to who's the chairman of the Federal Reserve. And I think that money needs to be stable and provide the foundation for productive economic growth. And when money is just a variable that financial markets toss around, or it's part of a derivatives formula, or it's part of someone speculating on currencies, it's not serving the private sector in the sense of providing that reliable unit of account so you can make plans. And under a gold standard, you did have that stability, and I think that's what's missing. And so I like the idea of a gold standard. I mean, it could be used in a very cryptocurrency way. The point is, do you have a unified money system so that when you talk about the international marketplace, everyone is playing on a level monetary playing field? And it's very important to have a rules-based approach. And that's why I'm advocating that we need to look at the virtues of a gold standard and try to come up with something much closer to matching those, and then I think we would have more solid economic growth.
So some great points here. I've showed this clip on my channel a few times with regards to Judy Shelton, talking about the gold standard, talking about how it can even be used in a cryptocurrency way, i.e. XRP. The point is you have a unified money system so that when you talk about the international marketplace, everyone is playing on a level monetary playing field. So some important takeaways here, and considering she has now followed Mr. Intuitive on Twitter, the XRP community is watching. And just to add a little bit more sass to this afternoon's video, Anders L. pointed this out. LOL. I mean, I can't even believe it myself. Guys, this is from the Bank for International Settlements website. and they're writing about DLT technology. In all of this, innovation must start from an understanding of the concrete needs of households and businesses in the real economy, and of the policy demands they put on a monetary system. While decentralized technologies such as DLT offer many possibilities, users' needs should stay at the forefront of private innovation, just as the public interest remains the lodestar for central banks. Now, I don't think any of us would think much of this until we heard the term lodestar. Being the lodestar for central banks, well, you guys know what a lodestar is. A star that is used to guide the course of a ship, especially the pole star. A lodestar guides a ship. But not only that, there's also the Bearableguy123 manifesto, Lodestar 1, Lodestar 2, and Lodestar 3. And guys, if you're interested, maybe not familiar with the Lodestar Bearableguy stuff, I will link this in the description of the video. All the links are in Bearableguy's Twitter bio here. So what do you think? A coincidence? I mean, I had to laugh too when I saw this. A star that is used to guide the course of a ship. That ain't no coincidence, but that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.